Hello again, welcome to Data College, where we help you build solutions to your data problems. Today, we are continuing with a video that we did the last time on Power Automate, training to build automated system to get attachment. As you can see here, the last time we built the system to get attachment from Google Drive, Box, and Dropbox. We want to continue now with how to set up an automation to actually log emails, right? Log in emails in a particular Google Drive, Google Sheet. Now, this is very important, right? At the end of the probably the year, season, or whatever you are working on in your team or your organization, you might want to make do some analysis of requests that come in and all that. This is also helpful for those of us who are interested in some few machine learning or other things, automations where you have a customer support email. You want to keep track of requests that come in and how they are being resolved and all that. We will log all emails that come in, the content of the email, where it's coming from, and you can go ahead and do all your other data visualization analysis in Google Sheets if you would like. Great. So let's start. Um, we are going to our flows. If you did not watch the first video on creating this flow, we would recommend that you go back and watch that, because this is a build up on that. We go to my flows and we are going to start a new flow. Now, the reason why we are not adding this flow to the previous one is the previous one was for only attachment, and the condition was that it works with emails that have attachment and all that. Let's start a new flow and let's give it a name: log emails, right? Keep email logs. Uh, However you want to call it, you can do that. And we are going to log emails in Google, how do you call it, Google Sheet. But basically, we have to define again our initial trigger point. What is supposed to bring a trigger? And our initial trigger point is that we will want something to happen when an email arrives. So we are using Gmail again for this tutorial. So we are going to look for Gmail. So when an email arrives in Gmail is what we are interested in. Then let's perform something. As you can see here, as I mentioned in the last video, there are a lot of triggers that you can work with. They are simple to understand. You can take time and go through. So we click on when an email arrives and we say that create. So we have set up our initial trigger point. As we did in the last video, you can also set the advanced options to actually filter the emails that come in. So assuming in the email, you want to log emails that come with a particular subject, right? Let's say emails that come with request for, you can put a string here that it will look in the subject, and if that string is in there, is able to match that and filter those emails for you. For now, we are leaving it open to all emails, so we would leave that open and click our next steps. The next step is when the email arrives, what do we want to do? That's our action, right? The first one, we define our trigger, what is going to start the trigger, and then when the trigger starts, what is the action that we need to perform? The action that we need to perform is that we want the emails to be logged in a Google Sheet. So we are going to go into Google Drive, which we have opened here already, and then create a sheet. It is important to create a sheet and define the parameters you want. So for the emails that we receive, we want to get the sender's email, right? Email address. Then we have the sender's name, right? Sender's name. Then we would like to know, maybe for some reason you want to check for who it is sent to. Now, this is useful because some emails might come where you are being copied in, right? That way it's logged to it shows you the primary person the email was directed to. And you might also want to log in all the other people who are in copy, all the other people who are in blind copy. And then you might also want to say that you want to log the email subject, and then you want the body. So we are defining these attributes that we want to get from each email that arrive, right? Then we can say we want the date and then time. We want the date and time that the email was logged. So these are the basic things we want to get from there. So now we go back to our automation here, and then we are going to look for our action, which is Google Sheet. So you can look for sheet. Right? You can say Google Sheet. Now, there are a lot of actions that come with Google Sheets, right? You can get a role, insert a role, delete a role, uh, get roles, get sheets, update role, and all that. And you might be wondering, these are about 6 actions. The best one that will suit our work here is to insert a row, right? So for each email that comes, we want to insert one row, and then keep details of the sender's email, sender's name, to whom it was sent, the copied, the blind copy, the subject, body, and time, date and time at which it was sent. Of course, at the end of the day, Power Automate is going to add one variable, which is going to be the the ID of it, basically. So we will select insert a role. So now inserting a role in Google Sheet, you will have to select you have to log into your Google Drive. If you are not logged in, you have to select the folder and the file in which you want it to be logged, and then the tab or the sheet you want on which you want it to be logged, and then you can define the remaining parameters. Is what we are going to do. So the first one is the file. So we are going to select a file. We are going to select a file and say that in our Google Drive, if you have not logged in, it will prompt you to log in. I have done that already. So in our email attachments, there is a file called email log. This email log we can see at the top here, right? So we will select that file. So this is our file. Now the worksheet, the file has only one worksheet. We can define it or enter a custom value. We will keep that one sheet which we define things on, right? Immediately we select the worksheet, all the columns or the attributes we predefined will now populate here. So we define this attribute. And as I mentioned, right, Power Automate is going to add an ID variable, which has already been added. Immediately selected the sheet, right? Immediately we selected the sheet, this ID has been added. So we are going to map each of these and see what attributes or what in the email we want to be at this column. So we pick the first one, which is the sender's email. Then we come here, sender's email. What do we want to get there? So we go to when you click on the attribute, the attribute placeholder in there, you are able to select whatever in the email that you want logged here. So from sender's email is going to be email address the email was sent from. So it is going to be from, right? Then the sender's name is going to be obviously sender's name, which is email sender's name. Then two, to whom was it sent to? It is also defined here. We select that. Then those who are copied, you do not need to go through the list, right? If you know what you are looking for, you can start typing and it will fill that in there for you. Copied is here. And then blind copy is BCC is here. We named it BB, it's fine. You should name it BCC. Then subject, right? You look for subject in there, then you map your subject to your subject. Then the body, you look for body in there. Now that's the content of the email. Now it's going to give you body, but there's a disclaimer here for the body. It is going to make it in an HTML form. So line breaks, you see HTML tags of break and all that. But basically, the text, everything that comes in the body will be included there, plus in addition to the HTML formatting that comes with it. Great. So that's the body. And then date and time, we are going to search for time, which is received date and time. And that is going to log in there. Remember, so these are the attributes we decided to. You can log as many attributes as you want, right? And it's going to create a role, insert a role for each email you receive and log these details in there, plus the ID column that has been automatically created for us. So we will go ahead and save this, right? Go ahead and save this. When we have saved this, we would go ahead and test our flow and see if it works. So let's test and say, let's give a manual test. Let's trigger a test from our email. So let's go to our Gmail actually. In our Gmail, we are going to start an email to Data College, and the subject is going to be uh, our first email log. So hello everyone, right? Here is our first email log. Thank you. Now I am going to copy data college as well, blind copy data college as well in there. So that we can get all these attributes in there. So we trigger our email, we go to Power Automate. It is trying to work, and indeed, within 1 second, it has worked. That's pretty fast. And now you see the email has been logged here, right? So data college official, sender's name, to copy. Remember, we copy the same email. We blind copy the same email, and this is the subject, our first email log, and then the body. As I mentioned, it comes with a text plus the HTML formatting, right? So you see, hello everyone, HTML division break, close the division. Here is our first email log, blah blah blah. Thank you, and that is it. Date and time it was sent, you can see that here, and then the ID, which is automatically created for us now. And that is how it works, right? So if another email comes, then we can just go back and say, if another, let's just go back to trigger another test and say that let's trigger another test here and say that let's test this one again and see how that flow has successfully run. So we have triggered for 3 more, and that has worked and logged for you. And that's how it's going to log it for you, right? Now, as I mentioned, if you log this at the end of the year, you can one file. If you come into the file, you can also just look at emails that you have received. You can make analysis of the requests that come to you and from whom, and all that is very important. And it's also relevant for those who have team emails, and for some reason they are not able to all get access to the email, but you want to set up a flow that will keep the emails for you, right? If it is also an email address that you want to be monitoring, right, to see what emails a particular person receives for the purposes of security, right, you can use that. So that's it about setting up a flow for your email login uh, Power Automate. Now I'm going to talk about touch about now I'm going to touch on a couple of things on Power Automate that you should know. Now, one of the things as well is that it's not only, as I mentioned, it's not only logging emails and doing these few attachment flows. You can add a lot of things, right? So you can add another series. We have in our last video we were working with parallel kind of flow setup. You can make a series of flows as well, where after the new role is inserted, you want to say that next step, right? You want to add another action that should happen. You may want to send a message to yourself on Slack, right? You may want to send a message to yourself on Slack. You log into your Slack, and then your Slack ID. You may whatever that you think you want to do, just try that. Twitter, you may want to create a tweet. You may want to make an action in GitHub and all that. It is important for you to know the needs that you have, right? So that's it for today. If you have a specific need in Power Automate and you want us to help you design your webflow solution, kindly reach out to us in the comment sections, and then let's collaborate together and work with you to set up your system for you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Promote this channel, Data College, for us to continue doing these wonderful videos.